Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where it is you're listening from. I'm Dan Turchin, the CEO of PeopleReign. Excited to be introducing you to our virtual agent and, more important, starting a dialogue about why we matter more than ever, even as technology gets smarter. Thanks to our good partner, Alcor Solutions, for supporting this event. You'll be hearing more about Alcor from Brent Knipfer in just a bit. Just a little bit of preamble. AI makes humans better. It augments our capabilities while letting us do what we do best: exercise judgment, empathize, build relationships. PeopleReign is an AI-first system of intelligence that makes life better for employees at big companies by humanizing the process of getting IT and HR help. Today, we'll show you how it works and share learning from hundreds of customers about what it is you should be asking and what to expect from the future of work. We're going to talk about some key personas, and I wanted to start, before we jump into the content, with our perspectives about what three primary profiles you fit into. Again, this is over the course of years and research across hundreds of customers. You're probably in kind of one of these three general camps in terms of the maturity of your AI journey. You're out there in the camp of saying, kind of, CIO asked us, what's our AI strategy? And we're just kind of starting to explore options. Maybe you're a little bit further up the maturity curve. You say, oh, we actually have an automation strategy, and we're kind of in the process of evaluating use cases and maybe tools. Or maybe you're at what I call the far end of the maturity curve, and you're more kind of saying, well, we deployed something, we've got something working. Maybe it hasn't gone completely according to plan, and we're just trying to think about how we could get more mature faster, maybe what are the right questions to ask to improve the success that we've had along our AI journey so far. So those are kind of the three types of personas, three places along the AI journey that we're going to be speaking to today. To set the stage for the live demo, as well as the commentary about the future of work and the need for an AI-driven system of intelligence, I thought I'd share a few kind of premises. I would say without hesitation that work has changed more in the past 30 days, maybe 60, maybe 90, but than it has in the previous 30 years. 70% of employees, when asked, say they're actually scared to go back to the office. And this is an opportunity for us as IT and HR leaders to provide some context around what it's going to be like and make them feel comfortable. It's an opportunity for us to engage them and remind them of why we create great workplaces. We can definitely drop that number from 70% far, far lower by practicing some of the principles that we're going to discuss today. Believe it or not, since February, essentially the beginning of the pandemic, call volume into call centers that handle IT and HR requests has spiked 55%. Well, that should be no surprise. Everyone's remote. Everyone is 100% dependent on their technology to be able to get their job done. And here we are in IT and HR. We're not staffed up. Nobody handed you a blank check and said, here's 55% more budget. No, in fact, they said, figure out a way to work harder, figure out a way to get the work done, figure out a way to do that while improving the employee experience. Well, AI-driven automation is a great way to achieve those objectives. Better IT and HR service, improve employee trust, improve loyalty, and obviously they keep your extended teams productive. So that's kind of the context, why we're here, why we're having a discussion today. So a little bit of commentary about what is the future of work. First, I'll talk about it in terms of if you're an enterprise, and then second, I'll talk about it from the perspective of your employees. So as we all know, every company is increasingly becoming a technology company. We're all dependent on technology. If you're a doctor in this day and age, you're essentially a computer with a scalpel. Cars these days, not just Teslas, but cars in general, are really becoming computers with steering wheels. So it's important that we think not just technology first, but AI first as we think about delivering the best experiences. Service providers, IT, HR, facilities, finance, legal, et cetera, they really exist to deliver compelling employee experiences with technology. Increasingly, all technology is AI first. It's AI driven, hence the need for an AI first system of intelligence. AI maturity increasingly is what will distinguish you or differentiate you from your competitors. From the perspective of your employees, the future of their job is really defined by how they can best augment their own capabilities, that ability to exercise empathy and rational thinking with machine learning. Eventually, what you're going to see is AI becoming just kind of a part of the environment. It's ambient. It's impossible to escape kind of this sphere that surrounds you of automated decisions. And it's not a bad thing. What that means is that your employees can get more done faster. They can be more productive. They can enjoy work more. They can get out of the office an hour earlier having accomplished the same thing. In the future, information will find you. And it will find you in part because AI is becoming the new UI and voice is becoming the new app. So we're really radically rethinking our relationship with technology. One of the premises that we have at PeopleReign, and I'd imagine most of you agree with this, what can be predicted is better left to machines. What requires judgment or intuition is better left to humans. Think about that as we talk through kind of the next section of the presentation, how AI can improve the life cycle of service requests for IT. So this is a bit of an eye chart, but I wanted to take you through a variety of use cases that if you're maybe further along, closer to the right of that maturity curve that I mentioned, you can start to think about across your organization, not just the service delivery side, but also the infrastructure management side. So starting at the top, so think about how AI might impact provisioning. So where should a workload be deployed? Public cloud, a private cloud, a hybrid deployment. Data contains the answers to those questions, and data trained at scale can be turned into AI-driven algorithms or integrations that help you facilitate making those decisions. Capacity planning. How much capacity has this workload consumed in the past? So if we want to optimize cost, it's a really good opportunity to take the data, train it so that it can make automated decisions about not just where the workload should go, but how much capacity to provision. Incident management. So reduce your mean time to resolve, improve your FCR, your first call resolution rate, reduce your call volume by doing intelligent incident management. Help your agents learn from past patterns by telling them what the right answer is. That's a great use of AI. Problem management, change management, also logical places to mine data for patterns. So if I know the root cause of a problem when it arrives, I can obviously reduce the mean time between failures on the infrastructure side. And I can also take historical changes and do things like assess the risk of approving a change using AI-driven automation. Orchestration. What's the orchestration task that I should take? Automated decision-making or augmenting the thought process of humans regarding what to orchestrate is hugely beneficial. Remediation and root cause analysis. So wouldn't it be nice if you had kind of the good angel on your shoulder when you are in the, let's say a cab, a change approval board meeting or a virtual cab, and you're trying to figure out what was the root cause so that you can do an RCA, a root cause analysis, or you're trying to figure out what remediation action to take. The answer is locked in data. Use the data to your advantage. Use the data to deliver a higher quality customer experience. Knowledge management and monitoring, finish up the loop. Obviously, if you have AI that's making recommendations about where the gaps are in your knowledge content, you know exactly how to deploy your resources to provide better content. Now, as we go through the demo, you'll see how intricately connected the virtual agent experience is with better knowledge content. Monitoring, wouldn't it be nice if you could correlate a bunch of noisy alerts from disparate systems into actionable problems so that you know what change to take, so that you know how to compress the incidents into kind of their constituent underlying issues so that you can go and feed that virtuous loop. So that's a quick overview of how you can think about using AI-driven automation to facilitate every phase in the life cycle of a service. So we're here to talk mostly about a virtual agent, and so I thought I'd waste no time getting to this slide. So 3 common use cases for a virtual agent. And in a bit, we're going to talk about what to expect from your virtual agent, but just at a high level, think about 3 key problems that virtual agents, when they're deployed in a correct way, can do to reduce your call volume, reduce your mean time to resolution, and most importantly, increase your customer satisfaction. So again, in this time when there's a lot of uncertainty, spiking call volume, 55% increase since February, wouldn't it be nice if all the routine stuff, the common incidents, I need to reset a password, I need access to an application, if you could take all of that out of your queue and focus on solving the hard problems with your humans. Think about the impact that would have to you and the business. Answering common questions. More than ever, we're getting inundated with questions about policies. When is my office going to open? Can I bring personal food to the office? Do I need to wear a face mask? Will my temperature be taken? Is my W-2 going to be delivered on time? All of these common questions. I need a Zoom license. That's what's accounting for the 55% spike. Wouldn't it be nice if you could deflect all of those routine questions to an autonomous virtual agent that's going to deliver an instant experience in any language, any time of day, in a way that's completely consistent. The best answer gets delivered the first time, every time. That's a level of service quality that we've always struggled with as an industry. You get that with virtual agents. Lastly, wouldn't it be nice if a virtual agent could facilitate the ordering of goods and services? So take the traditional, typically poor experience that your employees have with a service catalog. Maybe there are thousands of requestable items, or maybe even worse, there aren't thousands of requestable items. They don't have a service catalog. But wouldn't it be nice if they could have a nice interactive experience with a virtual agent where they can ask a question, submit an incident, or order something? And it's all facilitated using autonomous dialogues where there's continuous learning benefit. Every question that the virtual agent doesn't get wrong, wouldn't it be nice if it knew that it got it wrong? And rather than trying to answer with the wrong answer, it would say, hey, I don't have an answer to this. Can I create a ticket for you and escalate? Can I bring in a live agent right now? That's what intelligent virtual agents do. So now we're going to take a global journey, and sometime offline, if you'd like to, we'll treat this like a quiz. If you want to tell me what the association is between the capabilities and the cities, I'd love to hear your hypotheses. But 12 key questions, 12 key features, 12 key attributes of an intelligent virtual agent for IT and HR. I'll go through these quickly. We're going to see a lot of this in the live demo. Accurate answers. So first and foremost, you must expect that the virtual agent is going to provide at least as accurate or hopefully more accurate answers than what they would get from speaking with a live agent. Intelligent virtual agents know what they don't know. So you're able to set what PeopleReign would call confidence threshold. And you can set the lever below which you would actually rather have the virtual agent not provide a reply. So if it's not at least confident to a certain level, pass it on to a live agent. So nobody ever gets penalized for starting with the virtual agent. That's how you gain trust. That's how you shift left the support burden, because the employees will find they get a better service experience when they first start with the virtual agent. But it starts with knowing what it doesn't know. The virtual agent should always reply with answers. We refer to them as snippets at PeopleReign, not documents. So frankly, if a virtual agent's going to respond with a 30-page PDF, it's not much better than a search engine. So wouldn't it be nice if, like the smartest live agent, the virtual agent actually responded with answers? And if it doesn't have a good enough answer, it might respond with multiple answers and ask you, hey, we think it's one of these 2 or 3. Can you help us out? And then give us some feedback. Did we get it right or not? Which then gets fed into the automated continuous learning loop. Automated learning, obvious where that's so essential. That as every employee interacts with the virtual agent, that's a wonderful opportunity to capture that learning in the form of automated continuous learning and a feedback loop. So every time the virtual agent responds, it'll say, hey, thumbs up or thumbs down. And if it's thumbs down, let's try again next time. Okay, we're going to retrain the model based on that feedback. There are other use cases, we'll talk about in a minute, that also benefit from automated learning. If, for example, the virtual agent hands off to a live agent, the system of intelligence is making a recommendation. Maybe it's routing the request and making a recommendation to the live agent. There's also opportunities to learn about, was the routing correct? And were the recommendations to the live agent correct? So throughout the life cycle of the service request, every point, every interaction with every stakeholder, there's an opportunity to gather either implicit or explicit feedback. So domain awareness, the virtual agent should be able to distinguish questions that are related to HR, IT, et cetera. Should be concept aware, domain aware. You want to make sure your virtual agent knows the difference between, say, the airport that you fly out of and the airport that is an Apple product delivering your Wi-Fi service. Domain awareness, really key. Multi-language support. The virtual agent should be at least as smart as the smartest live agent. Explainable decisions. Expect that your virtual agent can explain why it made a particular decision, so that you may be able to take that explainability and build that into how you tune the algorithms. Algorithms need to be open box. So you need to understand not just why the decision was made, but you need to actually be able to tune the algorithms when they do something that wasn't what you expected. When the virtual agent is not capable of resolving an issue, it should be directly connected to your live agent queues. So you can seamlessly hand off to a live agent. Agent assistance, once that issue has been created or that task has been created, you want to make sure that the live agent benefits from the transcript that the virtual agent had, the conversation. You want to make sure that the agent is fed a kind of a steady drip of next best actions based on all of the knowledge content strewn around your enterprise. That knowledge might come from structured knowledge management. It might come from wikis. It might come from historical chat transcripts, emails, any channel. You want the agent to benefit by being able to be fed from this kind of knowledge graph of content. Predictive insights, you should expect that a virtual agent is able to mine all of the insights from all of this automated work that the virtual agent's doing, the routing tool is doing, the recommendations tool is doing, and surface insights to service owners about what's going on in the environment based on these automated interactions flowing through the virtual agent and these other applications. And lastly, you want to make sure that in order to increase adoption, that virtual agent needs to be there in front of the eyeballs at the moment of truth when there's an issue or when there's a question. So sometimes that means a mobile app. Sometimes that means SMS. Sometimes that means voice. Sometimes that means your service portal. But in order to be equally or more attractive than the traditional expensive channels like email or voice support, you need to make sure that the virtual agent is available at the moment of truth when the employee has a question or when they need to order something or when they have a problem. Okay, so 12 principles, 12 questions to ask, 12 elements of the best, most intelligent virtual agents. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this concept of the lifecycle of service requests. As I get into the demo, I think it'll make sense just to have a little bit of a framework about how we think about the value of an AI-first system of intelligence when it comes to automation of the whole lifecycle. And you could think about kind of three personas in this lifecycle. Employees who will probably interface with the virtual agent, so the virtual agent will engage them. If the virtual agent isn't sufficient, the employee can always say, hey, pull the ripcord, I need some help, I want to talk to a live agent. In that case, the system of intelligence routes and recommends to the live agent. So there's value being added, not just for the employee, but also for the live agent. And then lastly, part of the analysis of everything that's happened through these other automation patterns, the manager, the service owner, is provided with predictive insights that can help improve the overall service that the organization's providing to the employees. So you can think about these three key personas, kind of four use cases: the virtual agent providing service to the employees, routing and recommendations for live agents, and then predictive insights for service managers. That's what it means to automate the life cycle of the employee service request. Now, PeopleReign's AI-first system of intelligence maps to these key personas and these key use cases. And what you'll see through the demo is the virtual agent. Today, we're going to primarily focus on the virtual agent, but fear not, we will have follow-up webcasts to this one where we focus on some of the other elements in the life cycle. There's the virtual agent that exists, omnichannel, everything we discussed, the top 12 key considerations for your virtual agent. We'll demo most of those. There's also the Classify application, which does intelligent routing. There's the app we call Recommend, which provides agent assistance via this knowledge graph. There's the Data Science Workbench, which gives you kind of that open box visibility into what the algorithms are doing and gives you the ability to tune how those algorithms are performing. And then lastly, Insights provides predictive analytics and a dashboard for managers. So these are all key components of an AI-first system of intelligence. And I think what you'll find is that the virtual agent is sufficient most of the time, but it's really important when you're evaluating your AI strategy for employee service to think about automating that full life cycle with additional use cases and applications that complement what the virtual agent is capable of doing. So with that said, I thought we'd have a little fun. and we'll have a little fun with the virtual agent. I want to just take you through some kind of typical use cases that all validate exactly the principles that I've been talking about, but again, a picture's worth 1,000 words. So first off, I talked about the benefits of omni-channel access to the virtual agent. So like I was sharing in the screenshot just a minute ago, this virtual agent's available as a mobile app. It can listen via an email channel, voice, SMS. In this case, we are going to be interacting with it via a widget embedded in a ServiceNow Service Portal. So first it's going to greet me. So I'm logged in as an admin named Anna Eng. For those, they might be Giants fans. Homage to our friend Anna Eng. The virtual agent is going to greet me in a customized way. So this is a non-branded virtual agent. It has some PeopleReign branding, but you can introduce your own carousel of greetings options. In this case, something fairly generic. I'm your PeopleReign virtual agent. Ask me anything, and in fact, I can. So let's start with something that is pretty common. Wouldn't it be nice if your virtual agent could eliminate the need to do password resets via tickets or via the phone? So let's ask it to set my password. Let's see if it understands that. Okay, that was pretty fast. So in this case, I want to point out a couple things. So this virtual agent understands who I am. So it comes back and says, not just, here's a link to the password reset portal. That wouldn't be very helpful. Instead, it says, I verified you. So it knows me, like the smartest like the smartest live agent. You were locked out due to too many incorrect login attempts. I've sent a PIN to your mobile device. I actually did just get a PIN request. Just so you know, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but I got the PIN. So I'm gonna go ahead and enter the PIN. So now we're in a password reset flow. So that's literally the PIN that I was just sent. So it says, please enter it. I enter it. Thanks for providing your PIN. So I provided the right PIN. I sent a temporary password. I just got the message. And there it is. There's my temp password. No smoke and mirrors. And that's a screen describing what I was just sent. So pretty intelligent experience. I'm gonna say thanks. That's pretty good. So there you have it. We just eliminated maybe a third of your ticket queue, but it gets better. So let's say another simple example, just to show you things that are common. I've just got a problem, or I have an incident, and let's say I'm stuck because I can't get on Wi-Fi, and so I just want to create a ticket. And it'd be nice if I could just create a ticket interactively like this and not have to figure out how to create a ticket in the portal and do a bunch of clicks. If I could just do it conversationally. So let's see if I just ask it. Okay, so again, it's natural language. It understands the language of IT and HR, so it knows what a ticket is. So what's my ticket about? Let's say Wi-Fi connection error from the lobby of floor 3. So I just describe my problem. Again, this is what you'd expect from the smartest experience. Go ahead and create a ticket. So that was pretty quick. It came back with this ticket, gives me a link to it. Just so you know, no smoke and mirrors. I'll go ahead and click on it. So there, in fact, is that ticket. A couple things I'll point out. So PeopleReign is monitoring this ticket. So that's an application called PeopleReign Classify. And it came back and classified that it's correctly assigned to subcat, managed Wi-Fi LAN, assignment group network. So just like you'd expect, this is PeopleReign recommend down here. If it had recommendations about how to fix that, it would provide them. But in this case, instantly got the ticket. I can now go and work the ticket. Let's say, now I'm kind of in the persona of the admin. I'm supporting Anna. So whatever, I can now have a chat. And all of this chat is being funneled through the virtual agent. So that's the nice thing. So now if I go back to the virtual agent and maybe, a few minutes have gone by, I get the link to the ticket. What was that? I think it was 11347. So I can ask just in plain language, any words I want. I didn't need to put in the full address, and here we go. Now we can see the latest comment that was just added. So pretty efficient, right? Now let's say, as is often the case, I don't know the ticket number. I don't even know the suffix of it. Maybe I just want to ask for all my tickets. So again, pretty straightforward experience. In this case, Anna as an admin has a bunch of tickets. Here's actually the most recent one that Anna submitted. But just like that, I can navigate my way through anything that's in a service portal, anything that's in the service catalog, anything that's in the knowledge base, and I do it all conversationally. So let's talk through a couple of examples that are more in the realm of knowledge management. So I've got questions. Again, I mentioned 55% spike since February. You got a lot of employees, 70% are scared to go back to work, so they're going to have common questions. Let's see, something's on a lot of employees' minds: when will my office reopen? And again, one of the things you'll find is that if the virtual agent doesn't know, it knows what it doesn't know. So I'm not sure if this is a question it can answer or not, but we'll see if it has a good answer. And this is all subject to a confidence threshold. Okay, so in this case, that was something you'd understood. Here looks like a good knowledge article. We're reopening one office every 2 weeks. Great answer. Here's a link to the portal about our return to work policies. So that was pretty helpful. But let's say even in a broader case, I don't even know what to ask. I just want to understand what's going to be different about work or something. I just want to say, kind of, help me navigate through what I need to know about COVID-19. And as is often the case, even though it's a conversational interface, a lot of questions that employees will ask are going to be fairly broad. Oftentimes they'll treat it like a search engine. So one of the things that's important is, even when we call these utterances, even when the request from the employee is very vague or ambiguous, you want to make sure that the virtual agent either knows that it doesn't have a good answer, or maybe provides multiple solutions that can help guide that employee down a path to answer a question they didn't even really know how to articulate. So in this case, let's see what happens. There's probably multiple things related to COVID-19. So this is very helpful. So in this case, it says, that's pretty vague. Here are the 3 most common topics related to COVID-19. So what to expect, returning to the office, what's our work from home policy. So maybe I say, oh, what I really meant is, I'm interested in, getting reimbursed for, my home office expenses. So I can go ahead and click on that. And here's a summary based on, that menu of COVID-19 content that goes through what's going to change when I return to work. So those are some typical kind of issues that are going to account for that spike in ticket volume. Talk about a great way to lop off the top 40, 50, 60% of your tickets. That's your virtual agent. That's what you can expect from an intelligent virtual agent. Not just the kind of conversational interaction, but actually deflecting calls, actually resolving issues, actually ordering stuff, actually routing, actually doing intelligent recommendations of next best actions to live agents. That's what a virtual agent experience should look like. So speaking of ordering items, let's see so I mentioned that an intelligent virtual agent should speak the language of your employee. So let's see what happens if I request something, only, let's say I barely speak conversational Spanish. So that's I'm going to fall back on my limited Spanish, but let's say I need a new phone and I choose to ask in my not really, but my broken second language of Spanish. So I say, necesito un teléfono móvil nuevo. Any native speakers can correct me, but I think I got that right. So I need to order a new mobile phone. So wouldn't it be nice if the virtual agent could go and retrieve relevant content? If it's there in my native language, great. If it's not, wouldn't it be really nice if it could return it in any language that there is about ordering? In this case, I'm asking for I need a new mobile phone. And that's pretty cool. So it actually understood that when I was asking for a new mobile phone in Spanish, it was able to come back with a process for ordering a mobile phone. Apparently there was not content in Spanish. So, for whatever reason, the organization hadn't translated their content to Spanish, but at least I can proceed with this flow. So it says, and again, it knows me. So you're eligible for a new device on or after August 1. You can select it from a list of supported Android. So it looks like I get 2 choices, an Android or an iPhone. In your region, either carrier is supported. This is a pretty intelligent experience, right? These are all questions that would typically generate additional calls, additional follow-up questions. Well, they don't now. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and select the iPhone, and it asks me to continue. Okay, so this is a smart form. So these are all the details that it needs to gather in order to order me my phone. Only in this case, because it understands context, who I am, my current device, it took into account my iPhone selection, it's able to actually pre-populate the most common responses and say, even, do you want it delivered to your cube? that's a pretty good experience. Obviously, if I have more questions, I can always create a ticket and engage a live agent, but just like that, in a non-English native language, full interaction to the point where I could order a cell phone in whatever that was, 2-3 clicks. That's what you can expect from an intelligent virtual agent. I'll go through one other example. I think you start to get the point that you can ask it questions, you can submit incidents, you can manage your incidents, you can order goods and services. Let's see one other kind of typical example. Say, some people call it Office 365. I just know it as O365. So let's see if it understands that. One of the things I want to demonstrate, that's pretty nice. So the content in the knowledge article happens to be about Microsoft Office 365. But one of the benefits of a virtual agent being, what I said earlier, is domain aware, is that it understands that O365 is a lot like Microsoft Office 365. In fact, they're synonyms. So I can ask it in natural language, whatever I need, and it's going to go and by kind of comparing my utterance in natural language to this kind of web of concepts that it understands related to IT, HR, et cetera, it's able to actually pull up a relevant recommendation. So that was a great experience. And lastly, I'll show you, if I just kind of want to close the conversation, I can say thanks, and you'll see how you can configure this virtual agent to have any kind of personality. You can brand it. Again, I'm showing you a version that's kind of the generic version, lightly PeopleReign branded, dropped into a service portal, but you specify the branding. In this case, let's see if it understands a closing. So this is kind of cool. So this configuration has this fun facts feature turned on. So I say thanks, it says glad I could help, but it acknowledges that I was ending the conversation, and it provides me with, from a carousel of facts, here's a little bit of takeaway knowledge about blue whales. I, in fact, did not know that, so I learned something from interacting with the virtual agent. Turns out a blue whale's tongue can weigh more than an elephant. So anyway, you can have some fun with your virtual agents. This is all configurable. The AI behind it is configurable. The user experience is configurable. But most important, this delivers a user experience that increasingly is what your employees expect. So they expect that conversational fluency. They expect that when they get support from a virtual agent, it's going to be at least as good or hopefully better than the traditional support they would get from a live agent. Your live agents are going to appreciate this because having AI behind the trouble ticket, the task, makes them smarter. It reduces their MTTR. It increases the likelihood they're going to get their bonus. When we talk about AI-driven automation making humans smarter, and when we talk about AI-driven automation being the future of work, this is what we're talking about. I want to pause there for a second. I'd mentioned we have a good partner in Alcor Solutions that's been supporting our journey and has helped us with today's webcast. I wanted to introduce you to Brent Knipfer. Sorry, I'm just getting back to my slides. Brent Knipfer, who's going to share a little bit about what Alcor has learned about deploying AI at scale. Brent, you want to come off mute and introduce yourself and share your insights?
Thank you very much. We're very happy to be here with PeopleReign. We've known Dan for a while, worked with him and have delivered the AI global scale. At Alcor, we've been in business since 2008. We've got a lot of great capabilities around platforms and cloud and automation. We've got about 400 customers, 250 people certified in various capabilities. You can see here highlighted to the right. With over 500 platform implementations across platforms you know and can see here on the slide, we're excited to add PeopleReign and Dan and his people and their current enterprise focus for artificial intelligence and machine learning. Got a great ability to satisfy our customers. You see there with a 9.6 out of 10 scale. And we are delivering multiple products on the ServiceNow platform. We're very tightly integrating ServiceNow with the key capabilities so that people can have a full platform capability. So imagine Dan has done a great job of demonstrating the power of ServiceNow and PeopleReign. What could that combined platform do for you? One thing we want to highlight is the practical value. We can help you to get going on this journey to use artificial intelligence. At Alcor, we've got some deep expertise across ServiceNow, cloud, managed services, and automation. And PeopleReign AI is only going to magnify the outcomes you can deliver for your company. Dan did a fantastic job of demonstrating one of the personas there in the top left. You see self-service. What would 30% of all of your contacts, all of your interactions through any channels do for you if they were largely served and completed through PeopleReign AI? But that's not the only place. There are two other places, right? For those first contact, those people who the first contact comes through, whether that was chat, an intelligent human sounding agent transferring to a real person, a phone call. And then what about the person who finally resolves it, the final contact? That might be your service desk or contact center, but maybe AI can just intelligently route it and really leap left, right? Go right around the service desk because they're not the party who's going to solve that issue or provide that request. In the center here, we're talking about how people can really make progress powered by AI and make the most of your people. So look at the slide here and you'll see that really it's a continuous circle of increasing value where artificial intelligence is helping. So look at the top there where you get started. There's some required data. We've highlighted some of these key fields. You're going to look at that ticket history. At Alcor, we've developed a way that you don't have to have tens of thousands of records. Imagine 250 tickets where people, your experts, have actually looked through them and made those tickets perfect. Well, you can now run the AI model on those tickets, and then based on that, apply the AI model across all the historical records you have. So you've immediately uplifted by populating those fields. Imagine here the knowledge article that solves that ticket, or that there is no knowledge article, the CIs, the root cause CI, the related CI, the reported CI. Now, if you go back through this loop as a person who's raising an issue or trying to solve it, our PeopleReign is going to present to you, you see at the bottom here, you're going to get that ticket interaction at the top. You've already got the data AI model, so you don't need this number 2 box. You're right down here at the bottom. PeopleReign's going to fill in those fields, and it's going to present you. You could automatically fill the fields with a high level of confidence, say 90%, or PeopleReign recommends and you as the human validate or select. Now, if it doesn't have confidence, you still are going to help the AI engine by flagging that no knowledge article is there and suggesting one, or by saying there's no CI in the database, here's the one that this ticket is related to. So that's going to, in every interaction with people, they have the opportunity to smarten the engine, to make the whole organization smarter. And then you continue this loop. So phase 1, if you look at the center, you may have been focused on mandating configuration items, making sure you have knowledge articles. In the second phase, you might be looking at urgency and impact. So you make sure you're scheduling the correct work. People are focusing on the right work to do because everyone has more to do than they can get done. And then in a third phase, you can really take the power of AI and remove work from people that focus just on incidents and now repurpose. For example, for a global corporation we work with 121 countries, 40,000 locations, 10,000 people supporting 400,000 employees, we were able to take $1.5 million out of the service desk, allowing them to be repurposed to do problems and figure out how to remove incidents completely or how to automate the resolution of work. And then as you can see, when you use this vicious loop here, this high value loop, you can answer these great questions over here on who, what, when, where, why, and how. And the results then become accurate for everybody, for the end user, for the person who's looking at the issue and trying to solve it. They'll be complete. The data you're looking for will get populated. AI is going to ensure that. And it's going to be current. So if a smart person says, hey, we're no longer supporting that kind of mobile technology, but we now have progressive web apps, you can immediately get those accurate 250 tickets you need so you can get the artificial engine working. So there are 3 personas here you can get value on: self-service, first contact, and final contact. There are 3 real high values of AI. It will make sure that everyone's repeating the right work. It's going to help the machines do the work, and it's going to let people teach the new stuff that's coming in. So think about this illustration. Screwdrivers, they've been around since the 1400s. It was only since about 1980 that we had access to this battery-powered screwdriver. My dad was a handyman. He resisted for a couple years. But the day he bought this, it was on his hip every day. So that's how we can look at AI. It can create this immediate value. Of course, we can use human effort if that's the right tool. But who doesn't want to use this first to get more work done, more high quality work, and allow great work to be done? So we'd like to help you get started tomorrow and let you get going on this journey, delivering the value of AI.
Thank you to Brent and to Alcor for being a great partner. Part of the value of working with a team and working a platform that's AI first and that's a system of intelligence is that on day one, you're going to get the benefit of learning from hundreds of customers around the globe over a period of years. And part of what you're going to get as part of working with our team at PeopleReign is a plan that breaks down your AI journey into 3 key components: plan, deploy, and improve. At each point in your journey, we'll provide the right kind of templates, assets, questions to be asking. So we essentially will guarantee that at each phase in your learning process, you're armed with the best knowledge from the best CIOs around the world. So I think if there's one takeaway that you get from the webcast, it's that planning an AI first project is different from planning a traditional project. And starting with an AI first system of intelligence is really the way to de-risk the success of your initiative. We do have, I know, a bunch of questions in the chat channel. I did want to put up a portal that you can go to. We put this in place just for today's webcast. If you go to PeopleReign, reign, like the reign of a king, REIGN.io/get started. We put some resources there. You can request a trial. We have case studies available. You can request that early access discount that we had talked about in the invitation. Please go there first, continue your journey, continue the conversation. I've got time for probably a question or two, but then we'll make sure that if we didn't get to your question, that we will answer it offline. We'll also be providing a link to the recording from today's webcast. I'm going to try to group a few questions that I see coming in together, mostly related to the difference between PeopleReign and what ServiceNow's AI platform can do. Very different. So at PeopleReign, all we do is AI. I've mentioned it's an AI-first system of intelligence. So systems of record, like ServiceNow or other systems of record, benefit from kind of wrapping this layer of intelligence horizontally across the system of record. The learning that I've mentioned, the knowledge graph, can take into account information and context that will be contained through a combination of the system of record, but maybe outside. There may be information that lives in SharePoint, for example, Active Directory, other SaaS tools, et cetera. Bringing all that knowledge, all that information to bear in a way that's AI driven is really the value of a system of intelligence. So it spans multiple systems of record, even though it might be integrated with one primary one, like ServiceNow. An additional benefit is that you get that lifecycle management. So that ability to kind of frictionlessly stitch together the employee experience with the live agent experience, with the service owner experience, and deploy that continuous learning loop is some unique differentiation from PeopleReign. The other key differentiator I mentioned in the context of the demo is that kind of open box approach to AI algorithm configuration. So the AI algorithms must be configurable. The AI algorithms must be explainable. The AI decision-making must be transparent. So that's the kind of tooling, the kind of infrastructure or orchestration that you get from an AI-first system of intelligence. And when you see, maybe when you join us for a subsequent webcast, the data science workbench, the insights application, classify, recommend, you should get a sense of the differentiation, but all in a way that completely complements the value of the underlying system of record like ServiceNow. Second group of questions related to kind of getting access to PeopleReign. Glad that there seems to be a high level of interest. Go to PeopleReign.io/get started. And one of the options is actually request a trial. So we try to make it very easy for you to get a ton of value right away. So the kinds of use cases that I demoed a few minutes ago in the virtual agent, we want you to be able to get that kind of wow moment, that kind of interaction with your own content in a conversational way as quickly as possible. So I encourage you, as part of the next phase of your AI journey, go to peoplereign.io/get started. You will get a link to the full transcript from today's session. So please use that to answer any questions that didn't get answered. If you asked a question in the chat channel that we didn't answer, we will follow up with you. I'd also like to thank again Brent and the Alcor team. They will be available after the session as well to answer any questions. We encourage you to engage with them. They are PeopleReign experts. They, like us, think AI first. And with that said, most important, thank you for joining us for this launch event for the PeopleReign virtual agent. We couldn't be more excited about the future, and we couldn't be more genuine in our commitment to making sure that that future involves one where humans are augmented by AI, but humans will always reign when it comes to being the real source of value creation.